There's an interesting story about Grant Shapps, the Defence Minister, who has been talking on Sky News, and he's been presented with the issue: how can you explain how 6 people from Rwanda have been granted asylum to live in the UK if the government signed its deportation agreement with South Africa in 2022 and decided that the South African country was safe? How can you explain, Shapps, that 6 people have been granted asylum in the UK? Now, he said that he wasn't aware of the specifics of those cases, so that's good. Ignorance is always a good get-out for people who don't know what they're doing. What I do know is the UN sent people to Rwanda, and the UN do it without all the different security measures or reassurance measures we are putting in place in Rwanda. If it's good enough for the UN, it's good enough for the UK. And while the UN does send asylum seekers to Rwanda, the country is not the final destination, and the UN's refugee agency has previously condemned the UK's plans to deport asylum seekers permanently to Rwanda. So resorting to the UN does it, so why shouldn't we, is not quite as straightforward as Grant Shapps' limited understanding seems to maintain. Now, 33 asylum applications have been lodged in the UK on behalf of 51 people from Rwanda since 2022, since that deal was first put forward. And it's despite the plans by the UK government to send asylum seekers to the country as part of the £240 million agreement. It means that more asylum seekers have arrived in Britain, in fact, up to this present date, from Rwanda, than asylum seekers have been sent from Britain to Rwanda. In fact, more people have been sent from Rwanda than the only people who have been sent to Rwanda seem to be senior members of the Conservative Party. Now, the government is facing a series of crucial votes this week as it tries to fend off amendments being put forward by the far right of the party. And this is in the face of the fact that the Supreme Court in November ruled the Rwanda policy unlawful, saying that there were questions about the safety of Rwanda and whether it would properly process asylum seekers there, that indeed Rwanda was not a safe country. Lord Dubs, who was very helpful to me personally when I was looking at an issue of torture in Greece. And Lord Dubs is a senior member of the House of Lords, a former child refugee who fled from the Nazis. He said that it's very significant because it confirms what the Supreme Court said, and it makes a nonsense of a bill that deems Rwanda to be safe. It undermines the whole logic of the thing. It makes a nonsense of the government efforts to override the Supreme Court. And it doubly makes a nonsense of those people on the far right of the Conservative Party who want to completely extricate ourselves from the ECHR. Dominic Grieve, the former Conservative Party Attorney General, says, clearly, if we're granting asylum to individuals from Rwanda, it does call into question how Rwanda can ever be described as a safe country, because it's plainly not safe for those people. Simple as that. If Dominic Grieve can see this, if Lord Dubs can see this, and Grant Shapps can't see this, why the hell is Grant Shapps the Defence Secretary if he can't actually follow a simple, straightforward argument? Indeed, why are so many people in the present Conservative Party in positions of power if they are so blind to basic reality?